Hey, I'm Robbie with Delta Millworks. I'm here with Barret Krugel, our technical director. We're here in our sample department here in Austin. And today we're going to be talking about our primary exterior wood selections. Here in front of us, we have some of our staples: Western red cedar, reclaimed barnwood, Luna wood, which is a thermally modified Nordic spruce out of Finland, a thermally modified vertical grain hemlock out of British Columbia, and a modified radiata pine that we call Akoya, which is really our mainstay exterior wood. And yeah, we're gonna talk about the differences between these different exterior wood products here, from color and grading to our capabilities with coatings and sizes. We just wanna set some expectations for how to properly select the right exterior wood for your project. Barret, you want to start off with Akoya and talk about that product of ours?
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's important to note that all of these woods are fantastic products. Almost every product that's in front of us here is going to be rated for exterior application. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other, but certain woods and species of woods are going to provide certain advantages over others. As you mentioned, Robbie, one of our best sellers here, Akoya, being a chemically modified radiata pine out of New Zealand. This is a fantastic product that comes with a 50-year warranty, rated for a 25-year warranty when in contact with the ground. This is going to be an example of a chemically modified product, as I mentioned, and then the other versions of our modified woods are going to include our thermally modified woods like Luna wood here, as well as our thermally modified VG hemlock here. Both of these products becoming very popular and very durable in exterior applications. We also carry an unmodified version of hemlock here. And I think that it's important to understand the distinction between modified woods versus unmodified woods. Robbie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about this unmodified cedar?
Yeah, we love Western red cedar. It's a newer line for us. We've been selling it for years, but we've really ramped up our focus and color SKUs and our grade offerings as well. Western red cedar is really a tried and true product. It's not chemically or thermally modified, as Barret mentioned. This is just a kiln dried process. Western red cedar comes out of British Columbia. They have very strict forestry laws in place, so their forests are well protected. Less than 1% of their forests are harvested each year for lumber and timber. Their forests are expanding, they're not shrinking. They have a very stringent afforestation program where when trees are cut down, they plant 4 or 5 times that to regenerate the forest and ensure there's trees for generations to come. Western red cedar, it's a species of wood, of course, but it's really one of our offerings with multiple grades to select from. Here in front of us, we have 3 different grade options. This is a STK, or sound tight knot grade. These are 2 clear grades. Clear meaning free of knots, or 99% clear of knots. Even a clear grade in most wood species will have some slight defects. So just make sure you understand that. A clear grade usually means clear, but there can be some color streaking, some pinhole knots, etc. This piece in my right hand is a mixed grain cut of Western red cedar, and this piece in my left hand is a vertical grain cut. And that really comes down to how they cut the log. The logs coming from the forest are sent to a sawmill, and how that round log is cut determines the grain you see in the end product. This vertical grain cut, basically the grain runs perpendicular to the face of the board. So it takes some more maneuvering of the log to get these cuts of vertical grain. This mixed grain can be more of a flat sawn cut where they can utilize more of the log and you get more variation in grain. This piece in my hand, you see some more flat sawn or mixed grain action right here, and then you see some tight grain there. So the mixed grain will have more variation overall than the vertical grain cut. Color-wise, I would expect color variation between all three of these grades. Really a beautiful product, and the color variation is something that we personally like with Western Red Cedar.
Absolutely. I think, one of the great advantages of cedar is just that it comes in 3 different grades or 3 different grain patterns. And while being an unmodified product, it provides a lot of different options as far as character and general appearance of what you want your building to look like. So I think that that's a great aspect of the unmodified kiln-dried Western Red Cedar. But if we're looking at another product like this thermally modified spruce here, I guess you could say maybe the only disadvantage would be that it only comes in 1 grade, a mixed grain or a knotty A grade, what we like to call. This product is fantastic. It's got a 30-year expected service life. It's, literally grown in the harsh forests of Scandinavia, so it's a very robust, durable wood. We're having a lot of success with this wood. It's working really well with our coatings. We're able to provide a lot of different coating options with this particular species. The Akoya, again, is only going to be another example of a single grade that's coming out of this species. So again, this is a chemically modified radiata pine. I'll pick up another piece right here, and obviously it's looking very different with this barnwood texture below it, but this is actually the same grade of wood as well. It's all going to be that clear mixed grain texture, right? So the 2 different types of modified woods are fantastic, providing a little added durability and probably added longevity over the long haul for the service life of the wood than a product like cedar. But it's going to have more limitations as far as the overall appearance. I think it's important to understand, the different options as far as grades and finishes and general longevity. I guess getting into just a little bit of the specifics of each of these types of modified woods, the thermally modified in my right hand here and the chemically modified Akoya in my left hand here, is that the thermal modification process uses only heat and steam to change the wood at a molecular level. It's essentially baking the wood at a low temperature for a long period of time. So about 300, 350 degrees over the length of between maybe 4 to 8 hours, depending on the process. And what that's doing is as I said, it's changing the molecular level of the wood. It's baking out the natural sugars in the wood, making it more resistant to rot and decay and insects. And similar process with the chemically modified Akoya, except that this process is introducing a non-toxic chemical that's pumped into the wood and introduced at a cellular level. So that's going to be a through and through. Both of these products are changed completely through to the core of the wood, but especially with the Akoya, the treatment process is happening all the way through to the core of the wood. This is going to make sure that no matter where you're cutting this wood or ripping it down in certain ways, it's never going to be changing the structure of the wood or introducing any areas that are going to be more susceptible to rot or decay.
Another option of ours is reclaimed wood. Delta was founded on salvaged longleaf pine and reclaimed wood 40 years ago, and we still offer reclaimed wood options today. A lot of our current reclaimed offerings are sourced out of the Rocky Mountains. You can get true barn wood that comes off the side of barns. You can cut reclaimed wood from salvaged timbers, but a lot of what we produce and work with these days comes from old cattle fencing. A couple things to consider about reclaimed wood is there's no grading standards for it. Everything else you see here, we can produce a grade for, not just a visual and a photo to showcase what the wood looks like, but also a written grade description that can define knots, it can define color, it can define bark and wane, it can define moisture content. Reclaimed wood really doesn't have that. So when working with and ordering reclaimed wood, it's extra important to understand expectations of that material, whether it's color, knots, nail holes, waste factor. You're, trusting the supplier to deliver a usable, beautiful product. There's a lot of varieties of reclaimed wood. There's reclaimed wood that is new wood that's set outside for a year or two in the sun to let patina, and that's considered reclaimed. We don't work with those materials, and we frankly don't consider that reclaimed. A true reclaimed product should be 40 to 50 up to well over 100 years old. Then it's actually reclaimed. It's not new wood that's aged out in the weather and then called reclaimed. So from the character to the color to the consistency, it's very important to understand expectations with reclaimed wood. This is generally what the wood looks like in its raw state. We actually nylon brushed this, so we did remove a little bit of the kind of the fuzz and the original gray patina. This is our Presidio product. We also do a truly original finish called our Terlingua in barnwood. And here we have a stained version of it. So we're really one of the only companies that's pre-finishing and coating reclaimed wood. This just gives it more protection over the years and also the ability to customize colors for our clients.
The Delta, we have reclaimed oak, reclaimed chestnut, and reclaimed barnwood. Both of these products in front of us here are showing a reclaimed barnwood, which is typically a pine fir mix. And of course, we have the oak products and the chestnut products, which are different types of woods. So there are different types of reclaimed looks, reclaimed woods out there. As Robbie mentioned, the grade is basically non-existent, but if we were to refer to it as something, we would call it a rustic grade. And essentially, there is a lot of allowances or allowable characteristics within that grade. So basically, everything's on the table as far as knots and rusty, rust marks, nail holes. Everything's included in that. So we can't really control that too much. And I think that that's an important point to make about reclaimed wood in general. Is we just don't have nearly as much control over these products that we do as for some of these other products that are on the table here, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Again, it's always about setting proper expectations. I think, getting into sizes and what's control that we have over certain species that we carry is an important thing to note. So for these reclaimed woods that we're talking about, Robbie, typically these are going to come in shorter widths and shorter lengths as well. They're coming from wherever we can get this wood from. Whereas woods like a cedar or a hemlock or a radiata pine or a spruce, these are all woods that we have a little more control over the sizing of those products. So we're able to get those woods in different thicknesses, right? So for a reclaimed wood, it's going to be really difficult for us to find this in a 2x material. Whereas for a spruce or a radiata pine or a hemlock, we could easily get that in a 2x or even greater thickness, right? We're also going to have more availability for widths, for longer lengths, for all of these things with some of these other products. So when you're designing your home and you're choosing the right exterior siding product, it's really important to understand some of the limitations and the allowances for each of these products.
That's a great point, Barret. So for siding, we can do versions of these all day long. Let us know if you're doing any special sizes in fascia. Let us know earlier rather than later. It's just kind of the climate we live in with wood supply. There can be some size and availability limitations, links at times, or other considerations. So just communicate with your sales rep and really set expectations early on for sizes and really for everything else we're talking about here today. There's a lot of considerations. So please reach out and talk to us about your project, what you want to see long-term with these wood products, and we want to meet each and every expectation along the way. Delta's a resource. We've been doing wood siding for over 15, almost 20 years now. So we talk about this stuff every day. And I think from, a design, a sample, all the way to getting the wood installed properly, I think understanding these differences and variations and different attributes is very important and ultimately leads to a better end result and a beautiful project with a long-lasting wood siding product.
I would say, just to sum all of that up, I think that, some of the decisions being made off the bat need to be, do I want an unmodified or a modified product? Both being great. What's the longevity, the durability that I'm looking for? And then I think from there, it's choosing a grain pattern, a vertical grain versus a mixed grain, right? Both giving very different appearances, very different characteristics. And then from there, and somewhat related to the previous comment, would be choosing the right grade, right? Choosing a rustic grade versus a clearer grade. And so I think that all of those decisions are kind of encapsulating themselves around all of these decisions here to choose the right wood for your project, for your climate, for your client owner at the end of the day.